Alright, I don't understand why this is being a piece of crap all of a sudden, but hopefully it'll... Alright. Arf, arf. I just saw someone splash arf, arf, arf across the screen. That's awesome. I just forgot how to use my tripod. Okay. Oh, I know what's going on. That's other Discord chats notifications coming through. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are we doing, Celtic, Ben, Monkey? How is everybody? MPB, how are we? If you notice here, I have a co-host with me. This is Ross Paul. If you've seen the film Skinamarink, then this man right here was in it.
Was I, though?
Can you guys hear? Can you hear Ross? Just make sure everyone can hear Ross well. We are using Discord, guys. You know, I don't normally use Discord for video, but it was just the easiest thing at the moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, because apparently I forgot how to technology.
That's quite all right.
I do know how to technology, I swear.
Oh, no, that's all good. All good. Hi, Steve. Hi. How is everybody doing this evening? The smoke is better here. And Eric, so true.
Calgary Horror Convention.
Yes, we will, definitely. I'm excited. I cannot wait for that.
I'm pretty pumped. It is sad to say my first horror convention. I've always wanted to go. I was always too far away, or I don't know, or probably didn't have the funds at the time, but yeah. Now it's going to be a thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You're going to have your fill really of horror cons and comic cons, because there's just tons.
It's weird that it's my first horror convention and I'm on the other side of it.
So, yeah, as a guest, as a celebrity guest, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around that.
Yeah, well, on your panel there, I am going to be your host and your moderator on the Skinamarink panel at the HorrorCon.
Nice. For some reason, I did not know that.
I just found out.
Oh, yay!
I volunteer. Yeah, I volunteer every year at the HorrorCon, so I do anything from panels and help Dan out or whatever. And last year I did just about every panel except for a few of them, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice. It sounds like a lot of fun. Skinamarink has definitely opened up that world to me all over again, because I was huge in the horror when I was younger, and then I just got into other things, and then yeah, the horror family has been amazing. It's been a crazy ride. So many awesome people in the horror family.
100%.
Yeah, it's a whole different community altogether, man. Everybody's like, I feel like this family vibe. Like everybody just kind of has each other's back and is really supportive of one another.
They really are. It's a really awesome community. I haven't been a part of a better community than the horror community. I mean, you do get your bad apples in there, but for the most part, you've got a lot of good people. And in the indie department as well.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
Filmmakers and authors and creatives in the industry have been really amazing. I go to cons and I go to horror cons, and I will have to say I prefer horror celebrities over regular celebrities because the horror celebrities are more down to earth. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they just don't let their fame get to their head. I'm not really sure. I can't pinpoint it, but I find that horror celebrities are just more easygoing. They'll talk to you and hang out with you compared to some of the other people I've met.
They're just a little more on your level, which is good. They don't look at you like peasants.
Yeah, very true.
No, that's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. I was going to ask about that actually, but yeah.
Now, Skinamarink, is this your first? Well, Lucas and yourself, I'm assuming.
Yeah, first feature film. I mean, I've done background work and I've done other little, small indie work. But yeah, I've been on I did background work for the TV show Heartland that's filmed here in Alberta. I was in a couple episodes of that. I've done some theater. My first set experience, I believe, was when I lived in Nova Scotia on the mini-series Moby Dick starring Ethan Hawke and William Hurt and Billy Boyd, one of the Hobbits, and what's her name? Jennifer... X-Files. I almost said Jennifer Anderson.
She's amazing.
Anyways, yeah. Anyways, met a lot of really cool people. Ethan Hawke actually said hi to me, but yeah. So Skinamarink is my first feature film, and we were not expecting it to take off like it did. That's for sure.
Yeah, Celtic is saying Gillian Anderson.
I believe so.
Ethan Hawke, yeah, he's another good celebrity. I've never met him.
He's really cool. Yeah, I think I was just smiling like a dork the whole time. Like I was just just because I was in costume and I was on this big set and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a movie star. Ethan Hawke and I are going to hang. And then he walks by me and he catches me being all like,
yeah.
And he's like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, hey, good, you? Like he's going to start a conversation in the middle of a take and then he just walks off. I was like, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Right. Yeah, that was funny.
Well, you probably got a lot of different experiences going through the different channels of media, from television to movies.
Yeah, that, and I also toured in a heavy metal band, so...
Oh,
yeah.
What band?
It doesn't matter. Our first band was called Scape, and then the other one was like SKNS because it was two bands, and then both bands got rid of some people, and we kind of came together and took the initials of each band because we couldn't think of a name at the time. So it was like one band was called Split Self, and the other one was called Knights of Necropolis. So it was like death metal and like
Knights of Necropolis. Sounds very familiar.
Yeah, it was some of the best times of my life, what I remember of them.
The younger years, hey?
Yeah, and that's one of my guitars is there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I always keep that on the wall. Might actually take it off the wall one day soon and start playing again.
Nice.
But yeah.
How long have... Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nope, ladies first.
I was gonna say, how long have you played? Since a child, or?
Yeah, since I was 2. No, I'm just kidding. Came out of the womb and just handed me a guitar. Instead of a soother, I had a flying V. No, I think I started when I was 14 or 15, and I grew up on Metallica. And I used to know so many Metallica songs. I used to play a lot of Megadeth songs. Man, there were so many songs I played. I learned quite a few Pantera songs. Bullet for My Valentine. Mostly heavy metal, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, that's the best genre of music in my eyes.
Nice. I mean, I like rock. I do like rap. I like a little bit of everything. I even don't mind some country. But you won't catch it in my playlist. But I do know a lot of artists everywhere because my parents like country. So there's a lot of different types of music and different types of film in our house growing up. I think my older sisters were huge horror fans, so
Nice.
yeah. I guess that brings us up back to horror.
Yes, it does.
um, yeah, that just took me back to my first horror experience when I was spying on my sisters and their friends as a little kid, and they were watching. I mean, come on, what little brother hasn't done that?
Right?
I hope. Ross is a weirdo. Cancel that guy.
I'm sure there's been a lot of youngins that would spy on their siblings' sleepovers and get-togethers, especially when there's scary movies happening.
Yeah, it was Friday the 13th, I believe.
Oh, that's an awesome one.
Well, because I was taught in another interview, I said I always get mixed up which ones was my very first, and I don't know if it might have been Friday the 13th was my first, or The Beast Within, which I forgot who directed that, and what was another one that I saw too? They were all around the same time. I think it was called The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Yes.
Do you actually know that movie?
I know that movie. I know the remake, and I know the true story. Yep.
It was based on a true story?
Yes, it is, but it's Texarkana murderer that they have never found back in the 1954 in Texarkana. It's based on that real story, and I believe the original movie came out in 77, 78, and then they remade it again later on. I can't remember when they remade it.
Huh. Now I'm going to go digging for that both. I didn't.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering which one I saw. I just remember scaring the shit out of me, man.
I think that you may have seen the original one because the remake, 1946. Yeah, JJ, I knew it was one of those years. It was the 40s, late 40s, early 50s. But he killed several teenagers, strangled one to death with a phone cord. You probably saw the original, Ross, and not the remake, because I believe the remake came out, I don't know why I want to say like 2016, but I don't think it's 2016.
Yeah, I don't remember because I was so young, and
you've seen the original.
Yeah, I remember just only scene I remember is a garden and then being chased, or him trying to break down through someone's screen door or something, and
yeah,
like it was, I don't know. Anyways, just some vivid memories flying back here.
Yeah, well, good movie either way, and it is. I mean, they did embellish quite a bit in the movie. I mean, they have to make it interesting. 2014, yeah. Thank you, Reegs. Yeah, 2014 was the remake. I seen the remake. It wasn't as good as the original, and I couldn't remember. I knew it was in the 2000s, so you probably saw the original.
Yeah, so it was that one, and like I said, Friday the 13th, and The Beast Within. I barely remember that. I'm going to give that a watch too, but I'm having trouble finding it. I even was looking for it on Amazon. I just remember someone's head being ripped off.
Oh.
That's the only thing I remember that movie. That was pretty gory, but yeah, I guess at the end of the day, I'd have to say Jason and Freddy were my two most were the ones that impacted me the most, that I grew up on. I remember Nightmare on Elm Street giving me nightmares.
Yeah. It gave a lot of people nightmares.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was having this chat with a guy online last night about all the Evil Dead, and we were just talking about remakes and the difference between I guess horror movies now, and I guess the other difference is if you're young and you're just seeing a lot of stuff, of course it's going to impact you. But for me, it's like after you've seen a lot of horror movies, I guess it's hard to really scare me or impact me anymore. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah, growing up nowadays and you know, becoming a teenager nowadays, all those films, they broke boundaries back then. And yeah, MPB, it's a sequel or whatever. It still sucked regardless. I mean, it was crappy regardless. It wasn't that
Which
great.
one?
The town that said the town that dreaded sundown, the one that was released in 2014. It was a sequel. But it was still wasn't as great. But
Well, I think I'm going to go back to that and probably not be able to get through it.
the 76, yeah, 76 is pretty good. That's the original, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. And then take a look at the murders, but they never actually found them. And a lot of people are saying that, you know, the style of Jason Voorhees was taken from that or inspired by some of it, because in part 2, we do see Sackhead, right? In part 2 of Friday the 13th. And then we definitely see that, but he has 2 holes in his mask in The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Right, so Jason only had one?
Yeah.
Right, because he had a bad eye or whatever. Like, yeah, his face was disfigured.
Hey, Devil Dog. Hey, Grim. And Zach, thank you for your 17 months on YouTube here. Thank you for being a Leviathan. Saturdays and Wednesdays.
Thanks, guys, for coming out. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, this is Ross Paul, a friend and a actor whose recent movie was Skinamarink. If you have seen it, it is an independent film, and Ross and quite a few of the cast of Skinamarink will be at the Calgary HorrorCon on June 16th to the 18th. So it'll be great.
I'm not sure if we're there on the 16th. I think for us it might be just 17th and 18th. I need to recheck that.
Well, the 16th starts the VIP party, which I will be at. I'm actually going to Banff as well. So what happens is we pick up the celebrities from their flights either the night before or the day of, and then we head out to Banff and then hang out in Banff for the day. And then we come back into Calgary, and everyone gets to their hotels and, you know, things. And then the VIP party starts Friday evening, and we hang out with everybody. And then the con starts on Saturday.
I kind of think I heard about that. I think. Cool. Who do I talk to about that?
I can find out from Dan. I know that I will. I volunteer there every year, so I go to the VIP party. The VIP party's fun.
For me, it's so different for me, and that's why I'm just like, because I have Lucas with me, so that is a huge game changer.
Yes, it is. Well, the hotel, the VIP party is in the hotel. I do not believe. I don't know. I don't know the rules and regulations for Lucas. I know he's not 18. I know he's not 18 yet.
Your first beer at age 8. I mean, I probably had my first sip of beer at age.
Oh God, I think we all had our first sip of alcohol at a very young age. And Devil Dog's got Skinamarink bookmarked on Shudder. Nice, Devil. Let me know what you think of it.
All I'm going to say is that it does demand a lot of patience the first 40 minutes. And
I will agree with you. I will agree with you.
I'm very honest in saying that, you know, the more popular it became, the more polarized it became. And so if you're, on the one hand, the person that's going to look, you know, going to see something, you're probably not going to enjoy it. But if you're going to have an experience, you're going to get it and you're going to like it. Well, it's really that simple.
On the topic of Skinamarink, I think Skinamarink hits a lot of childhood trauma for the majority of us that actually seen the film and actually seen it as an experience. And it goes back to what we were saying, is seeing the movies nowadays as a young person, it's not scary anymore. That whole like shock of a man that's burnt to a crisp with, you know, blades on his fingers, that isn't as scary anymore. Nor is Michael Myers, especially after what they turned him into.
You know what? To touch on that, Yeah, I have to agree with you. I don't know how or why they aren't as scary. Maybe just for us, because like again, I think it depends on your age and how many horror movies you've seen. That might be one factor.
Well, my
But
Spawn scene, Nightmare on Elm Street, when she was, I think I let her see that around 13 or 14, and it didn't phase her compared to
was it
some
her
of the
first
other
horror
stuff.
movie though? Was it
No,
her first one?
no, she
No.
was born and
Okay.
raised on horror. Her
Oh,
very
okay.
first was Universal Monsters, which had no blood, no boobs, no gore. So she
Right.
grew up watching Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, the Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff Jr. Those kinds is what I started her off on, and then also the kids horror. She's 19 now, so Frank and Weenie and the Addams Family, the Munsters. Those were
Yeah,
her
I love the
horror.
Addams Family and Monsters. They were my favorite.
Yeah. Did you see
That's
Rob
very cool.
Zombie's make of the Munsters?
No, I did not,
It's
but
worth
thanks for
watching.
reminding me. I'm definitely going to check that out. Speaking of Rob Zombie, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I loved Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween. I loved the backstory. I loved having a backstory finally, one that made sense and not all like, I don't know, all
I will agree with
demon.
you.
You know what I mean? Like it's to see a kid. That I remember seeing it in a theater with my friend. I think I was living in Niagara Falls at the time, and I just remember it bothering me on a level, like just seeing a kid brutally kill another kid. And when he put on that little mask, and then you got to see him, the mask is what made him become,
Yep.
he's able to be an extension and become what he wanted to be. Or I guess the mask allowed him to disconnect from his true self. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
no, I definitely get what you're saying.
just to witness that and see that, for me, it was. I just remember me and my friend Chad looking at each other and being like, "Holy shit! Like this is brutal. Like I've seen a lot of horror movies, but I've never seen a kid kill another kid, and that's why I loved that movie so much, because you got to see him, his character arc, really.
Yeah. Oh,
How
you
it all
do.
started. So now you have a understanding of why he is the way he is, and all those questions are kind of answered,
Yep.
right?
Oh, yeah, and you do. I know a lot of people didn't like Rob Zombie's Halloween, and they definitely didn't like Rob Zombie's Halloween too. I enjoyed them both, and we do have Catterday night was saying I had a problem with the Munsters, but I think I am more of an Addams Family person growing up, so a lot of reruns after school, and I would have to agree with you, Catterday. It wasn't perfect. The Munsters was not perfect. I didn't care for some of the acting. I'm not going to say too much because Ross hasn't seen it and probably a few other people here haven't seen it. So I'm not going to give any spoilers. There's a few things I did not like. Is it worth a watch? Yes, The Monsters is worth a watch. Is it my favorite? No.
Well, I remember because my dad watched all those shows, right? So me
Yeah.
being a little kid, and my dad watched both the Munsters and the Addams Family, and the shows, like the original shows. I loved them both, and I always favored the Munsters. I mean, I think the most. Which one was Lurch in? Oh, Lurch was Addams Family. Yeah, I always liked Frankenstein and Lurch, and it was tough, but if I had to pick one, I think the Munsters were my favorite. I loved Herman Munster. I think I just loved his strength and his humor and all that stuff. And
Yes.
but you guys are talking about the Rob Zombie
Talking about
version of
Rob Zombie's
Munsters.
version. Yeah, we were talking about the
Is it a
Monsters.
movie or series? Did he remake the
It's a
series
movie.
or? Oh, he made a movie of it.
Yeah, it's the movies, the Munsters. I would recommend if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. I'm not the type of person to tell people, oh, it sucked or don't watch this movie, because it's art and art is subjective, right? So you'll see something and you may be like, oh my God, I friggin' love it. And I'll see the same thing and I'll be like, oh, it was all right.
Exactly. Same thing with Skinamarink, right? It's subjective. Some
It
people
is
think it
very,
sucked, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't see anything. All I saw was walls, and I didn't get it. It sucked." And then other people are like, "Oh my God, it took me back to when I was a child, and I woke up in the night and went creeping to the house." And you look in all the dark spaces. That's why Kyle's taking you on
yeah,
a journey as a kid. It's from a kid's point of view.
yep,
Like you're in the driver's seat,
yeah.
and so that's the mind frame you got to have when you watch that movie.
And
Watch
talking
that
about
movie.
Skinamarink, Brody15 says Skinamarink made me lose my mind in a good way. So
nice. I'm glad and sad to hear that. Sorry. Awesome.
yeah, well, I mean, I know people who've seen it that were just like, well, it is what it is. And I was like, yeah. And then other people who I talked to about it, they were like, oh, it brought out like the childhood traumas that I had. And, you know, it again, horror movies in itself is art. And it's very subjective. It may experience, somebody who may see it may experience the same thing. It may bring up a past trauma that they didn't even realize that was still there, but seeing this kid go through these things in the house, right? I don't want to give away too much because Devil Dog hasn't seen it yet, so I don't really want to, do any spoilers. I am going to watch Skinamarink after before the HorrorCon because I got to brush up on it. Since I'm going to be your interviewer.
That's cool. That's totally cool. A lot of people still. I guess a lot of people still haven't seen it yet. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, my experience. I did have an experience watching it. The first time I watched Skinamarink was before it blew up.
Yeah.
And Kyle. It was obviously after Kyle got it all put together, and he sent me a temporary link. And then so I watched it in the house, and I was kind of tired that night, but I was watching it from an actor's point of view. Like I was trying to figure out, okay, what the hell's going on? Like, what did you do? Where's this scene? You know what I mean? Like I was thinking of it from a production standpoint, so I didn't get immersed or it didn't bother me. It did a little bit some things, but I was too busy trying to figure out how we put this movie together because going from the script and then how he shot it and then seeing what he made were three completely different things.
Yeah.
Because I knew Kyle was trying to make something different, but I wasn't sure. Because you got to think, when I first saw the script and read it, I'm thinking, oh, your typical movie, your blueprint, you have your establishing shots and it's gonna be this and that, right? But it obviously is not that at all. He really broke out of the frame, and so my second experience was, which is the second time I saw it, was premiere night in Edmonton, and that was a very cool experience.
Nice.
Us coming around the theater. I saw the lineup of people going around the theater. Like that was just, I was like, wow, I cannot believe this. It was so, I hate using the word surreal because it's overused, but it's just the best word. But yeah, us walking up and seeing all the people and then kind of cutting in line and going in. And I was like, yep, this is different. This is cool. And then, but yeah, it really triggered me. I don't know why, the theater experience. And I've talked about this with a lot of other people. Some people had a better experience in the theater. Some people had a better experience at home and like with the lights off and a headset on their laptop. And
yeah.
So I had a lot of people. And there goes a crow flying by. Right on. All right.
I also think within the movie theater, it's really dark, right? So there's less surrounding and things to keep you from getting immersed into the movie. When you watch it at home on your television, you've got dogs, cats, crows flying by, fires and smoke.
There's a giant crow fly right by my window and the window's open. You probably heard that. It's like,
So you really can't get immersed into the film as much as you would in a movie theater. And on that, Esport Django wanted me to ask you if you saw the hilarious Sopranos in Skinamarink video that went viral recently.
Sopranos? No, I've seen a lot. I saw a Minecraft version of Minecraft Skinamarink. That was, even my kids didn't like that at all.
No, hey?
But Sopranos, that sounds very cool. I'm going to look for that.
Yeah,
there's so much Skinamarink stuff. Like I couldn't keep up with it in the beginning. It was too much in the beginning, but it's not too bad now.
Yeah.
I mean that in a good way. You know what I mean? Like it was just overwhelming. Like my phone blowing up and
it's gotta be
everything coming at me from everywhere all at once, and I was like, this is awesome. What do I do? Oh my and then I was just like, I had to just like take a break from it and But yeah, it's been a crazy experience. But I haven't seen Sopranos. That's going to be an interesting. Because I've seen some. I haven't seen all of the Sopranos seasons, but that's the mafia show, right?
Yeah, there's some kind of, I
Yeah.
guess there's a video. It's, again, I'm assuming it's funny, and it's the Sopranos and Skinamarink video that went viral. Well, I'll have to find it because I haven't seen it myself. So I'm gonna have to go and try to find it.
Where is it? Is it on TikTok
Probably
or
on
YouTube?
YouTube. I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably on YouTube.
Okay. So
If I
Sopranos,
find it, I'll
Skinamarink?
link it to you. If I find it, I'll link
Yes.
it to you.
Yeah, after this,
I
yeah,
got your
after we're
cell phone.
done.
I got you on everything.
Cool.
I got you on Twitter. I got you on Discord. I got you. That's funny. And
Trash my apartment.
JJ says the movie that we're talking about, his friend saw it and loved it. So there's a lot of good reviews on Skinamarink.
I appreciate it, and I get it. I don't take it personal. I was on a podcast with a whole bunch of people at once, and one of the guys told me to my face he thought it was garbage. I just laughed. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Well,
cool.
the movie wasn't for him. I mean, it's not that. So, and I hate when people do that. That movie was garbage, or that movie sucked, and people don't give you a reason why. Why don't you just say that movie wasn't for you? Because in reality, that's exactly what it is. That movie wasn't for you. I mean, we all seen a really poorly made movie before, and we can say, well, that kind of sucked because this, and this. But if there's really nothing horrible to say about the movie and its production value, and you're only saying it sucks because you didn't care for it, then maybe you should just.
I'm so glad you said that, because I talk about that a lot, and I say pretty much the same thing you say. It's not the same. There's a very fine line between saying a movie sucked, like the acting was bad, the production was low, the story plots didn't make any. You know what I mean? Like there's that, and then there's I didn't get it and I didn't like it. Two completely different things, and even I've been guilty in the past. We've all been guilty of getting the two mixed up, or thinking they're the same, but they're not.
Yeah, no, definitely completely different. I mean, you know, I can, and I was bad for it back in the day. I'd be like, oh my God, that movie sucked. I couldn't stand the shaky camera, but I always gave a reason why I did not like a film. I wouldn't just turn around and say, well, that movie sucked because it sucked. Blair Witch, I disliked Blair Witch on every level, but I did not like it. I did not like it because the shakiness of the camera, I get motion sickness. So the shakiness of the camera was one of the biggest well, not the biggest reason, but one of the biggest reasons I did not care for the film. The second main reason I did not care for the film is because when this film was being promoted and marketed, they did a brilliant friggin' scheme on marketing. They literally got the town involved. The town made a Facebook page. Like, they printed flyers and posted those flyers all around the town, and they made it real. But then the day of the premiere, something like that, all of the actors show up, and it was just like, hey, by the way, we're alive. I was so disappointed. I mean, I must sound like an asshole, but I was so
Go kill yourself.
disappointed. I was like, are you kidding me? I got tickets for opening night. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this is gonna be great. And then next thing you know, they're alive, and I'm just like, shit. But I seen it, and you know, I'm not a big fan of Blair Witch. However, that movie broke numerous boundaries for found footage. The acting was great. I'm not going to say the acting was bad. The acting was great. And that movie did break tons of boundaries for the found footage genre. And having the people not know the whole script, they were only giving like a piece of the script before the movie. Yeah, before they started filming. And then the day of, nobody knew who was dying beforehand. That all happened actually while they were filming it. And the whole running with the camera and, her talking and the snot coming out of her nose. And that's all done. That was actually done at that point. Oh, Scary Movie is fun. I love that movie.
Sorry.
No, I get it.
That brings me to another point. Skinamarink is not found footage. I know it is not found footage. So do not. No, irks me a little bit. I'm like,
why would someone say it was found footage?
I don't know. I've heard it. I think it was on Instagram and a few comments on YouTube. I try not to read too many comments anymore.
Yeah.
I can't help it because I love the comment. Who doesn't love the comment section?
We're all guilty of eating popcorn while reading comments.
I need a half an hour for the content, and then I need 2 hours for the comment section.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cataday was saying.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, let me just read what Cataday is saying here. I feel like everyone likes a film. Few will love it. Need to make a big swings that may disappoint someone trying something new and very creative. Well, Fright Night 2, New Blood, that is the only one I have ever really ripped into on my channel. But I was coming off the original 2 and the remake to compare. I got you, Cataday.
Oh, man, I loved Fright Night. That was one of my first, I don't know, I can't say it was one of my first, but it was... and I love vampire movies. I love vampire movies growing up. I'm glad she brought that up. Fright Night and Fright Night 2 was okay. I remember Fright Night having a huge impact on me. Like, I remember that scaring the shit out of me, but I was so intrigued by it, and it made me want to be a vampire. And then I would have to say that was, one of an earlier vampire movie that impacted me that I loved a lot. And another one was Interview with the Vampire.
Oh yes.
Anything Anne Rice. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling on, but I love vampires. Good. And I got into this huge discussion about vampires with a fan / friend last night, and we were talking about the differences and how I only feel like very few movies got it right. Like, I like the vampires that Anne Rice's style, where they can't do sunlight.
Yeah,
her can't
lore.
Really be killed 100% unless you burn them. And the older they get, the stronger and more they kind of develop certain powers over a long period of time, like 1,000 years. So the older vampires, the stronger, more powerful. Like, simple, but really done really well. But there's so many different takes of vampires, and you got me off on a rant. That's
okay. I accidentally hit the wrong button and it switched the whole shit to another scene while you were talking. So it's all good. And rambling is fine because we're always get off topic. I always get off topic.
I want to say one more thing to the vampire. Another reason why I loved Interview with the Vampire is it finally, at that time, explained how the transformation worked, because up until then, from my experience, most movies or shows were like, oh, they got bit and then they just became a vampire within a certain amount of time, but it didn't explain how. And I'm like, that really, I'm like, so is there a venom being injected? Like, what's going on? But then in Interview with the Vampire, Lestat is draining him of his blood, and then Louis bites him and sucks his blood, so now he's got vampire blood coursing through his veins, and that's how he changes into a vampire.
Yeah.
So I like that whole, like, it's almost science, you know what I mean? Like, it made sense to me, so and that's why I respect that.
There's so many vampire lore, especially throughout movie making, right? Throughout Hollywood, they've changed the lore. Like, one of the first original lores about vampires is in Greek mythology with an Italian adventurer who, travels on, and he gets actually cursed by Apollo. There's a huge lore with that one, and then that also goes in with them Bram Stoker. But every culture has their vampires and werewolves. I was always a werewolf kind of gal.
Oh yeah, werewolves were cool. I did like werewolves, but I like vampires. Yeah, what was that movie? Lycans and Werewolf. Underworld.
Underworld was great. Yeah, that's a good one.
The first two, I guess I kind of enjoyed them all except the one. There's only the one I didn't really like, where it was in the future and.
I think I know what you're talking about. Vampire something 2000 or some shit like that. I know which one you're talking about.
It was one of the Underworlds.
Oh, it was one of the Underworlds? Oh.
Yeah, it was one of them where it was in the future and the guy had died or something. I don't know. It didn't really make sense a whole lot. I think Anyways, the first two were probably the best in my opinion. And because Underworld, you got to think at the time, I think it was something a little bit different. We
It
hadn't seen
was
that
different. It was different from the other vampire films that are out there. And Deadwalk was saying at least Anne Rice's vampires are not sparkly. Some people were saying that Twilight. And Cataday is like, I'm gonna go watch me some Twilight, and I'm just like, I couldn't do that. I've never seen Twilight. The minute I heard that these vamps were sparkly, I was like, no, thank you. I don't have to see it. I know I'm not gonna like it.
I did watch it because, and this isn't anything against you or anything. I'm saying I try to keep an open mind, like, but I think I just wanted to see some action. I was just thinking vampires, but yeah, it really did bother me about the whole sparkly thing. It made no sense.
Yeah. That and it was more of a teeny bop movie where, you know, I'm not into that whole high school vampire horror. I can't even get into Sabrina the Witch because
that reminded us midnight horrors.
The Midnight Society.
Wait, there's this
TV series.
Sorry, there's this other podcast called Midnight Horror, and he did a post that I screenshotted and added to my story, and it shows Twilight on the top and the Lost Boys on the bottom, and then for Twilight it says, "Your vampires date, our vampires ate."
Yes. My favorite vampire film, though, is 30 Days of Night, because for me, that's a vampire. Bloodthirsty, predator, rip your throat out, you are food. I'm not going to have sex with you. I'm not going to romanticize you. I'm not going to do anything besides eat you. And that is all. I'm all about that kind of vampire.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what it's really originally all about. Isn't that Josh Hartnett?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if you know this. Is he? I heard a long time ago that he was Jamie Lee Curtis's son.
He played Jamie Lee Curtis's son.
Oh, so he wasn't. Well, I know he did, but then I thought I read somewhere or someone said that he was actually her son, but just went under a different name.
Not that I know of, but maybe I don't know.
To do with the price of tea in China, but
maybe who knows? Who knows? You never know whose child is that has a parent who's a celebrity, right? They do change their names, but he did play in H2O, her son.
Yeah. I like that. I did like H2O as well. Now we're coming back to Halloween.
Yeah.
We're all over the map, but
you should see the chat right now. The chat talking about Riggs is like, I didn't care for Monster Squad. Cataday says Lost Boy vamps were sparkly on the inside, spraying glitter blood all over Feldman when staked.
Love the Lost Boys. I love in the scene. Was it Corey Haim or?
Corey Feldman and well, it's the Frog Brothers, right?
Well, whoever was in the bathtub, he's just I don't know what he's saying. So anyway, he's just so hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm telling Mom. It comes in as a vampire. I'm telling Mom, or something like that. Like, you're in so much trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like when he finds out his older brother's a vampire, and he's like, "Oh, you're in so much trouble."
Yep, I'm telling Mom. And it is a Corey film. Yep. Dream a Little Dream, License to Drive. They did a lot of films together.
Yeah, it was so sad. The two Coreys about how that was tragic. Happened to Corey Haim. He was awesome, but yeah. Anyways,
he was. Oh, boss Ghostface Baby. I'm good. How are you? If you're just joining us, I am hanging out with Ross Paul. What did you do to my dog, asshole? Now they're all doing Lost Boy quotes.
Right. Yeah, now I want to watch that again. I gotta visit all those 80s. I plan on some weekend just binge watching like 80s stuff. I want to revisit the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Nice.
All the Friday the 13th, if I could get through them all. I think a friend of mine just messaged me the other day, said he bought the whole box set on Amazon.
I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan, and I own, oh God, I can't even tell you how many collector's editions of Friday the 13th DVDs that I own. My collection is pretty big in the horror realm. Like, I've been collecting horror for well over 20 years. I think I'm going on 25 years now. And my biggest part of my collection is Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I like Jason Voorhees, man. Part 3 was the funnest.
Part 3 is one of my favorites.
It was so 80s. It was, if anybody said what's the best, what's the word that captures the 80s the best, and that I would have to say part 3 was so 80s.
Part 3 is definitely awesome. And
Pardon?
MPB says Near Dark. Near Dark is an underrated vampire film. A lot of people haven't seen it. Believe it or not. Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton as a friggin' vampire. Yeah.
What? I love Bill Paxton.
I friggin' love him too. May he rest in peace.
So many good movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so sad. Bill Paxton as a vamp. Holy shit! I gotta write this down.
Near Dark. And if you have Shudder, I believe Near Dark is on our Shudder in Canada, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I use a VPN, so.
Prime Video and Tubi, and I just got rid of Netflix and.
I got rid of Netflix too, greedy sons of bitches. But anyways.
That's a topic for another show.
Oh God, don't get me started. But Tubi is great.
Yeah, Tubi's all right, actually. It's getting better. What was another vampire movie a friend of mine were talking about? Daybreakers?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, where it's they use blood as currency and all that, and I haven't seen it for a long time, so now that's another one I'm gonna rewatch.
Ethan Hawke.
Wasn't that Ethan Hawke? Yes.
It's one of my favorites. I love vampire films, and I do love Ethan Hawke. So, I think he does great.
Actor. He's underrated, I believe. I feel.
He is, and the Black Phone. I thought that was. Have you seen Black Phone?
Yes, I did. I actually watched that. Where did I watch that? I think I rented it off of Prime or something one night, and I watched it here by myself. And I love the Black Phone. It was done really well. I love the whole spirit thing. I thought it was like cool. It was like, especially how he was helping him and stuff. Like, I guess because we all love a comeback, or we all love a hero, you know what I mean? Like an underdog sort of thing too, and you don't see that very often, so it was nice. Yeah, it was done really well.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere in an article a long time ago that Ethan Hawke chooses to not be like, you know what I mean, an A-lister or not, or you know what I mean, like he chooses not to be
I get what you're saying, because Tom Hardy is the same way, and I love Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he likes to be kind of more behind the curtain. Like, he kind of likes to be kind of not so like all the rest of them, plastered all over social media. He kind of likes to be just focused on his work.
Yeah. Devil, are you talking about the zombie film 28 Days of Night? You mean 30 Days of Night? 28 Days of Night?
Oh, yeah, there is 28 Days Later. That's a song.
28 days later, yeah.
That's the one you were talking about with Josh Hartnett, right? 30 Days of Night, where they're up north and it's only,
And it was filmed. It was filmed in a place to make it look like it wasn't filmed in Alaska. It was actually filmed in a country where it's like 60 days of darkness, and the majority of that. Yeah, and I deep dive into movies, and then I talk about them on my podcast. But 30 Days of Night is one of my favorites.
Nice. I wish I could see the chat. I'm sorry I can't see the chat, guys.
It's all good.
I'd love to.
I'm reading it.
Everybody.
Well, yeah, I can read everybody's comments to you, but I've been reading the ones that have been sticking out, talking about what we're talking about, the movies or Skinamarink. Ghostface Baby is saying that they're excited because them and characters have gotten awards over on Facebook and TikTok. That's very awesome, Ghostface Baby.
All characters?
Characters. Which characters, boss, Ghostface Baby? no, I'm actually going to read your question, Serial, so you don't have to. He can't see because he's using his phone as his webcam at the same time for this hangout session.
I forgot how to technology tonight, so
It's all good because I planned on reading you the comments like I do everybody anyway. So Serial Killer.
Thank you.
I do it because not everybody has Twitch or YouTube, right? So I don't expect guests to come on, even in my friend. I don't expect anybody to come on to have a Twitch or a YouTube account. So I always read their questions off. I'm a little slow at it. Serial.
Yeah, I just signed up for Twitch, so I have no idea what I'm doing on there.
I can teach you Twitch if you like. I'm a veteran on that.
Send me a pamphlet.
Now, Serial wants to know, is there going to be a sequel to Skinamarink? And if so, can you name it Skinamarinky Dinky Dink?
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Serial
That's so
Killer.
funny because I said that. I've made jokes about that. We were joking about making there being a porn, and I don't know what I can say on this show. How X-rated?
You can say whatever you want. My show is 18.
So I was in another night. It was called. Do you mind me talking about other podcasts?
No.
So they're called The Nightclub, and I still talk to Travis on The Nightclub podcast because he's just so fucking friendly and awesome. And he's like, yeah, there's totally going to be a porn, and we're going to call it The Skin of My Foreskin of My Rinky Dink or something. Like,
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, man, there's so many avenues, so many places we could go with this.
Oh, yeah. Tons.
But no, there is not going to be a sequel. Kyle, sorry everybody, Kyle confirmed he doesn't want to do a sequel. Because I feel like in some ways they're probably, I gotta be careful what I say. Because I don't know who's seen it and who hasn't shit.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I feel you.
I'm just going to stop right there. I don't know. All I'm going to say is that there probably could be a sequel. It's possible. And I mean a real sequel, not one of those sequels where it's like, I'm trying to think of a movie now where sequels where everyone fucking died in the movie, but yet they were able to bring everybody back and have a sequel.
Scream 5 and Scream 6. Those motherfuckers should have died. Oh, I can't get onto that. I can't get onto that crazy train.
I need to go back and rewatch all the Scream ones again too, man, because there's a gap in there where like I was so into horror, and then I just kind of took a hiatus from horror for a bit because I don't know. Anyway, I just went somewhere else for a while and got away from acting and everything for a bit, and then Skinamarink just fucking grabbed me and threw me right
back in. Just when you think you're away. Like John Wick.
Punch me in the face. It felt good.
Yeah.
It was a nice punch in the face.
Scream, basically, people were stabbed like tons of times in the Scream 5 movie, and then they still survived. And then in Scream 6, same thing, tons of stabbings, but people should have died according to those stab wounds. Because if I went down on the street right now and stabbed somebody like Ghostface did to that one person, they would not be getting up and walking out.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you hit arteries and all you have to do is bleed out and then you're done. Oh, I mean, I'm not an expert on dying and coming back. I haven't been stabbed before, but I'm just assuming, I mean, based on real life stuff. But.
And Devil Dog says, we love to make porn movie names at work.
They're so easy to do.
They really are.
Let's hear some.
Yeah, Devil Dog, throw out some of your porn movie names.
The best is taking horror movie names and making them into porn names.
Yeah, and there's actually quite a few. And that reminds me, it's not a horror movie, but Zach and Mary Make a Porno. They do the whole thing in Star Wars theme. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yes, but I can't remember what they use. There's so many.
I just remember the big giant. The big giant
I wasn't
things.
using my phone now. I could be just looking this shit up because I can't remember all this. All the Yeah, Seth Rogen, right?
Yeah, Seth Rogen was in it. There was a few people in it. I can't remember off the top of my. Tracy Lords, I believe, was in it. She did the Bubbles, I think her nickname was. And Devil Dog, you're not going to share some of your porn names with us? Come on.
He's embarrassed. Is your mom watching this?
My mom might be. I don't know.
My mom definitely isn't, man. She can barely use her cell phone. Like,
yeah.
She can barely use a laptop. Anyways, she can barely
Monkey
use Windows.
says a Twinklight, the gay porn parody of Twilight.
Gay porn parody of Twilight. Yep.
Twinklight. Devil Dog says Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Balls.
Yes, that's awesome.
I know yours is a legit thing, Monkey. I believe you when you say it. Hi, Vengeance. The Lord of the G-Strings.
Yes, awesome. Lord of the G-Strings.
Lord of the G-Strings. Lord of the Flies is a pretty frigged up book and movie.
Man, I read the book in high school.
Yep.
And I remember Piggy. I don't know why I was taken so much to that book. Probably because it relates to our what high school was like. That's literally how it is. And I don't know if it's probably still like that in high school. You know what I mean? Like the hierarchy and the kids in groups and picking on one another. Yeah, that whole it's still so it was so relatable. But yeah, the movie. I felt like wasn't the movie pretty bang on?
Yeah, well, the movie was pretty close to the adaptation of the actual novel, and I read the novel in junior high, and then I read it again in high school, and we saw the movie in, I believe, high school.
I think I did.
But
I don't remember where I saw it, but
the
I remember
book was pretty crazy. The book was graphic as hell, too. Like, I remember reading it and be like, oh my God. As a kid. I'm like, this is awesome. They're allowing us to read this shit.
Losing daylight. If it feels like it's getting too dark on my end, let me know. I can snap on the light here.
Oh yeah, no, you look fine. I can see your face. Yeah, there's no weird shadows. You don't look like you're. There's no weird shadows yet.
I'm being weird. I don't know what the hell I'm doing right now. I'm just. I like eggs.
Serial, do you play Guitar Hero? Oh, do you still play Guitar Hero?
Me or you?
You. Serial, no, I don't play Guitar Hero.
I used to. I don't still play it. I have it downstairs. I have I call them the James Hetfield Explorer guitars, the Metallica guitars. Yeah, I miss playing Guitar Hero. I just don't have anybody to play it with anymore because the problem with me is I've moved all over Canada. Like I've moved around so much and all my friends now are spread out everywhere. Mm-hmm. And plus I have friends like all over the world now. But yeah, if I had the right friends come over, I would totally pull out the Guitar Hero 1 and 2. Even I think I may even have 3. And but I fuck. Oh, that's where he got.
I was just gonna say, the guitar behind you. He actually plays that Serial.
Some of my friends hated that I put the sticker on this thing, and they still make fun of me to this day. And they're like, "You ruined that, Jackson, by putting this on there." But fuck you. I don't give a shit.
It's yours, right? I'll stick stickers on it if I want to.
Yeah, probably won't, but. Well, I don't know if I got drunk enough, I probably would. I mean, it's been down a flight of stairs, and this tip was broken off, and it's been repaired, and this thing could tell you some stories.
Nice. Well, Serial, you probably missed it, but Ross was telling us that he was in a rock band, a metal band, and that's what he used to play.
Yeah, I used to be in a heavy metal band, and I miss it a lot. I haven't played in a long time, but I plan on taking it down off the wall soon, and I need to buy an amp again because I really miss playing. But yeah, Guitar Hero was awesome.
That's something you could do for your content, little short, bum, 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 bum on your guitar. Little short, tiny things that you can do. 30 seconds of like guitar playing.
There's that guy that follows me, and he's a big fan, and he always likes all my stuff on Instagram. And I can't remember his name, of course, but he does that. He's done a lot of riffs, like he done. Oh man, you name it. He's done Iron Maiden riffs. He's done Journey. He's done all the greats, and he does just all the best riffs. And so a lot of people are already doing that, but I guess I can still do it.
Yeah, but you're not doing it, right? So there's a difference that everybody else is doing it, but you're not doing it, and that's what it comes down to. I don't think there's really anything original on the internet anymore when it comes to anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything is out there. Everything has been done. Doesn't mean you can't do it.
Oh, a long time ago, like I think probably 2017 or 16, I did record myself. There is on my YouTube channel, Ross is Lost. I did a cover of King Nothing by Metallica, and I just did different camera angles. I have a guitar. I did different camera angles, and I'm playing along with King Nothing. So if anybody wants to check that out, King Nothing cover by Ross is Lost. I went under Ross is Lost.
No, that's what's your channel's name? Do you remember?
Ross is Lost. YouTube, it's Ross is Lost.
Okay, so I type in Ross is Lost, and it brings up Ross Quinn.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't look like you because I'm looking at it, and I was just going to post it in Ross is Lost YouTube. So I'm going to try to find you now.
My email address associated to Gmail is ross.is.lost. But you should be able to look up Ross Paul or. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's YouTube/Ross is Lost. Because I remember my friend giving me a hard time saying, "Oh, you're lucky you got a name like that. Everybody else has numbers and couldn't get their names." So I guess I was just really lucky to get Ross is Lost as an actual YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to find you amongst the 5 million YouTube things here. Ross Paul.
Ross Paul. There's a bunch of Ross Pauls too. So
yeah, there's this ton of them.
Yeah, that sucks. Try ross.is.lost.
Ross is Lost.
What's another one? There's got to be a way to find me because I don't have any other name. I guess I'm just not popular enough.
It's just that there's so many things that I'm typing in the name, and when you type anything into YouTube, it'll bring up shit that doesn't even pertain to what I am typing in there.
Ross Paul, single dad life.
Ross Paul. Ross Paul, single dad life. It brings up friends.
Geller. Someone called me that for a while. Hey, Geller.
Oh, that's funny.
How's Rachel? She's at home making me a sandwich. Thanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
we'll find your YouTube channel. I'll hunt it down. I'll find it. I'll get it. Mama's Boy, Deadite versus Monkey. I'm gonna have to slap you around if you keep calling my boy a Deadite. And hey, babe, how you doing? Are you still at Shane's?
What is a deadite? I've heard that before, but I don't know.
Wait, what was that?
What is a deadite?
A deadite? Oh, a deadite belongs in the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, in the Evil Dead franchise Army Darkness world. And some stupid schmuck decided to turn around and say that in an interview that Jason Voorhees was a deadite just so he can sell some comic books. And a movie, it's just a bunch of bullshit. I can't go down that road.
That has nothing to do with
No.
Good try though. Thanks for coming out, bud.
Yeah. Well, they made a comic book, right? Okay, so this is how it went down. We all know about Jason being a revenant zombie. All right, so he just keeps coming back to life. He's a supernatural mofo. Then Jason Goes to Hell comes out. Jason Goes to Hell director borrowed a couple of props just to put in his film, just, for a nod, a throw. And then later on comes an interview with this SOB. And they talk about Jason being a Deadite, but then also at the same time, there was a comic book coming out that they wanted to make money on, which was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash Williams. And it was just starting to take off. And then
my buddy owns that comic book. I might even have it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Sean comes on and says, "Oh yeah, he's a Deadite, all to make money." And I'm like, "No, he's not. Shut the fuck up. I don't care if you directed the movie." Just aggravates me. It's one of my favorite franchises, and someone called him a fucking Deadite. I will throat punch somebody because he's just not.
Tell us how you really feel.
We don't need to know how I really feel. If I was wearing my heart monitor right now, it would have been skyrocketing.
Come at me.
Oh, Deadwalk is actually trying to find your video, and Deadwalk says, try typing Ross Paul King Nothing. That's what it's coming up as. Ross is Lost should be in there. A video from 6 years ago that fits the description Ross gave. Okay, so Ross Paul King.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone that's on here, man. I appreciate it. That's awesome. I love you guys.
Deadwalk is a master.
Sounds like it. He needs to be my computer guy. The guy on the computer, like in what is it, Spider-Man Far From Home? I'm the guy on the phone on the computer and the sidekick.
Why doesn't it not come up for me?
Mission Impossible theme music here.
Right? I'm still trying to find it. Okay, wait. That one's 2 years ago. That's definitely not you from 15 years ago, 10 hours ago. Deadwalk, I think your American YouTube is going to be different than my Canadian YouTube because I'm not finding it. I even used the exact words you typed in.
What if I turn on my Xbox? Or should I leave the screen for a second and go reach over to my controller over there? I'm an Xbox guy, by the way, not a PlayStation guy.
I'm an Xbox kind of gal.
Yes. Hashtag winning.
Yeah.
If anybody cares, my gamer tag is Message in Blood. And
Message in Blood. Let's write that down.
That's a Pantera song off their Cowboys from Hell album.
Oh, sweet. There you go. Hey, yeah. Bruno.
And it's Message in capital letters, underscore, or little n, and then Blood in all capital letters, just like that. No numbers, nothing.
No numbers, nothing. Perfect. I just put it in chat. How you doing, Bruno? Okay, my Brandon here. His name is Bruno. I know him by Bruno, but he's Brandon over here. So, Bruno, how are you doing? And Deadwalk is gonna DM me what they found. Hey, Fosticles.
Oh, they found it?
They found something. It says a video from 6 years ago that fits the description Ross gave. So as soon as
I have my hat on backwards because I do wear my hat backwards sometimes, sunglasses on, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm jamming out in my living room, but I got all these different camera angles, and I have King Nothing playing in the background, but I also have my guitar, and like I'm also plugged into my amp, so you can hear my guitar over the song a little bit. So, yeah.
All right.
I used to love doing that. Actually, I love making music videos. I filmed and directed two. I have to give credit to Liam Ward. He's from Edmonton. I don't talk to him anymore, unfortunately. I'd like to reconnect with him. It was something stupid, but just had a falling out over something stupid. But
it's always something stupid. It is, and sometimes it's always something you can never friggin' remember why.
Oh, I remember why. It was basic. I don't want to.
No, you don't have to talk about it.
It was stupid. Anyways, I was just trying to help him out, but some people. I think it was just a big misunderstanding. I don't know. Anyways, I meant well at the end of the day. I was just trying to save him some trouble, and he just wasn't listening.
You know what?
I meant well, and I hope to someday, Liam, if you ever saw this, because I know he's a super talented guy who he needs to be discovered. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that needs to be discovered because he knows all about tech. He has so much camera gear. he is so friggin' smart, and he works. I know he has so much experience behind the scenes, and he's been slowly. Anyways, I hope to reconnect with him someday soon because I need to pull him out into the light.
Yeah. We found it.
I call him. Oh.
I think so. I couldn't go to it on my desktop because I have you in Discord right now. So give me a second. Okay, so Deadwalk, you are a god, an undead god. Okay, we're going to go to the YouTube channel and we're going to go find it right meow.
Right meow.
Right meow. All right,
I
Ross.
just do an awesome cat noise.
Ross is lost. Now, why can't I find it when I there you are. You're eating food and you're like that in your.
Oh. I'm eating a steak. It was the night of my birthday, I believe, and I had moose horns on my head. I was like with a knife and.
All right, I found it.
Yeah, that was a birthday picture. I had giant moose horns. I was just. Well, you know, Montana's. Whenever you have a birthday, they make you wear the giant moose hat, and yeah.
Yep, Montana's. Yup.
I haven't eaten there in a long time. I used to love the wings there, but.
I haven't been there since before COVID. That's
same
long time. I haven't been out really anywhere in restaurants. I don't really go out much. I do love Ricky's though. I try to go to Ricky's at least once a year.
I may have been the Ricky's. Yeah, Ricky's. Is that down in Gasoline? Oh yeah, you're in Airdrie. You're closer to Calgary, but yeah, my favorite. I've always loved going to Boston Pizza, and Boston Pizza's my go-to. And where else? Canadian Brew House is pretty awesome.
Oh, I've been there. Yep, I've been there.
I'm trying to think of some other places. I'm pretty open. I love anywhere with good draft beer.
Yeah. Cyril, is Montana's closing? Montana's would be a miss. Oh no. Okay, would be a miss. Okay. I get what you're saying now. All right.
I'm gonna have to start playing guitar again, but I'm trying to get back into. I'm trying to get my next role here. I'm trying to slowly get back into acting, like because I didn't plan on this whole Skinamarink thing. I didn't like none of this was. I know I'm kind of getting back on the Skinamarink thing, but
go
it's
for
just
it.
got me thinking. Well, it's just got me thinking about the timing of all this. Is so weird, man. The universe is just. I remember one night, just like. Talking to, like, I'm not into the whole Bible Christian thing, but I do believe there is a God, and as in the universe, and we're all a part of something greater, and so I do believe in prayer as well. But so I remember just having my chat with the universe and being like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? Like, because I was trying to make it as an actor a long time ago, and that's when I was, in Nova Scotia, and then I don't want to get, I need to write a book on my life someday, because I've been back and forth between Niagara Falls, Nova Scotia, Alberta, Nova Scotia, Alberta, Vancouver, back to Alberta. And so I was trying to make it as an actor. I went to Vancouver Film School, and I really thought I was going to, I was ready to do the Jim Carrey thing and just go sleep on a park bench and do whatever it took to get there. But then I met my ex, and that took me in a completely, I had to become a dad, and I chose to step up and chose my kids over everything. So I gave up my acting career. I sacrificed everything and focused on raising my boys. So I thought my acting career was done, and then I guess the next best thing was videography, and that's when I started my YouTube channel, and then I started doing videography because I thought that's the next best thing. At least I'm behind the camera, at least I'm doing something, and I put myself, and YouTube's a great way to put your face out there and be creative. So it's the next best thing. And then eventually, like, I think it was through, I know this is completely random, but it was through me making my first big music video with Ashley's Rejects, which you can see on my IMDb page. That video was the video that I met Christy Marchuk, and she's working in the TV and film industry here in Calgary. She's a script supervisor on some shows now, but she did her first Turtles commercial, which has Rylan and Lucas in it, and that's how we met Jamie Hill, because Jamie Hill is the mom in that commercial. So I became friends with Jamie. Jamie was friends with Kyle. Jamie was already friends with Kyle. So then Kyle told Jamie, "Hey, I'm trying to make my first feature film, and I need someone to play a single dad of 2 kids." And Jamie's like, "Well, I know a single dad of 2 kids."
Yeah.
And then, so that's how that happened. But then with Skinamarink blowing up, I was just like, what the hell's going on? Like, is this the universe saying I need to go back to acting? Like, is this a sign? You know what I mean?
It's a possibility.
And what do I do with this? And especially with the media coverage, it being in New York Times, LA Times, Rolling Stone, Fangoria, IndieWire. There's a long list. We hit all the major media.
Yep.
Didn't we? Like, pretty much
everywhere. Skinamarink was everywhere, even internationally, in all over the place. Actually, there wasn't a place. What was that?
Yeah. No, sorry. I was going to say it's actually playing in all the theaters in Mexico and France right now. Still.
Yeah, that it is. Well, you know what? I do believe that our doorways open for us when we're ready to walk through them. So maybe back then wasn't your time, right? There were more important things that you need to do before your acting career. And I always think our doors open up when we're ready to walk through them.
Yeah, it still doesn't make sense, because I'm like, at that time I was in Vancouver, in a place where it's a lot easier, and I'm like, I'm in Alberta, and no offense to Alberta, but
Alberta is
the furthest away from Hollywood you can get. Well, I'm sorry. I know any filmmakers here in Alberta are going to hate me for saying that, and some still hate on me for that. But I'm like, I know we're all still trying to make it. And we have had our wins, and it is getting better. It's getting a lot better, especially with the tax break, or they removed the cap. And so our film industry is slowly getting better, and I do believe it's on the right track. But you're not, in my opinion, you're not going to make it as an actor here in Alberta, as how I feel.
Yeah, and people normally go to Hollywood or New York. They go to the big places in the United States to break out, or they're going out east in Canada to make it out there, right? Because you got a lot of Canadians that made it big in the U.S. Yeah, people don't even realize that they're Canadian. And it's like, he's Canadian. They always think that they're American just because they made it in the United States. But
we actually have a lot of talent there. But
oh yes,
this is always a touchy subject for some Canadians, because, well, it's not my fault. Like, the Americans have it down, and I think we're getting a lot better, and we do have our winners, here and there. But so I'm still trying to navigate all this. I've connected with so many people. I have friends from the movie Harlow's Haunt. What's his name? Terry Jarrell, the director, and Amy Rolfson. I'm talking to them. I chat with them all the time now. They're in Florida. Their film Harlow's Haunt is making its rounds through the film festivals now, just the same as Skinamarink did. It's under Bayview Entertainment, which is
nice.
We're all part of the Bayview Entertainment family, Skinamarink and Harlow's Haunt. So the point is, this is that I'm connecting with all these filmmakers and actresses and actors and screenwriters and whatnot all over the world, thanks to, this is what Skinamarink has done for me. And I met you, and you'll meet a whole bunch more. My overall point is, what I'm trying to get at is that this Skinamarink has just opened a whole new world. Like you said, it's this big door just busted wide open, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, and still trying to figure out how to navigate it. You know what I mean? So it's a learning process.
Yep. And it's just going to open up more doors. And Serial Killer says, wait until you meet me. You're in trouble. So Serial Killer is going to be at the HorrorCon as well. He is my partner in crime. We do panels together. So you'll end up meeting Serial. He'll be with me when doing the Skinamarink panel.
Right?
What was that?
He's in our horror. He's in our chat, right?
Yes, he is. He actually set up that whole Discord and takes care of it like a champ. I don't know where the hell he gets time to do that shit, but
I'm sorry I'm not in there much, truth be told. And this is going to sound how it's going to sound, but I can't stay on Discord very long. I get way too much. I know I could just mute them. The problem with muting stuff is that then I kind of miss... I don't know.
You can mute and then keep only mentions. So when someone mentions your name, it'll ding you so you can set, like, my Discord, my phone would be going off all friggin' day, every second of the day if I had my Discord on all the time. And I don't. I have it on for mentions and important channels, right?
Yeah, so I'm not trying to sound like this big celebrity, but I am, like, my phone it's gotten better, but I have to sign out of some things. Like you said, I just have to, because it gets too much and my phone's blowing up at certain times. It comes in waves. It's been coming in waves, and I'm still trying to figure out how to handle that. So it's not that I'm being a dick and that I don't want to talk to anybody. It's just that I have a lot going on here, and I'm still trying to make time for everybody. So I'm just juggling a lot, and yeah, it's just a lot sometimes.
I do the same thing with Twitter. I get a lot of DMs on Twitter. Sometimes I'm just off for the night. I don't look at my Twitter much. I have my Discord. Yeah. I run the HORDE community Discord, which is the HORDE is the best community. But that is my Discord with the HORDE, and there are days that it is so busy, and then there are days that it's nice and it's quiet. But my phone will go off, and then Instagram, and I definitely understand that. I mean, I am no celebrity by any means. However, I just have a lot of people that I speak to, and then my shit's going off over here, and then people wanting to know about the smoke over there, and it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah, and we do have our fans, right? Obviously, we have our fans too. So it's been awesome. Like it's all good. I just need to learn. I'm still learning how to navigate, how to handle it all, how to manage it all. That's all. It's just
Discord can be a little bit of a pain, but once you kind of get the basics down, it's not overly bad. And Deadwalk, you are right. Deadwalk says you should see her Xbox messages, hundreds of party and friend requests. I have over 1,900 friend requests on Dead by Daylight.
Holy shit. Yeah, wow.
I don't even.
That reminds me, and I feel like an idiot right now because I just remembered I canceled my Xbox Live for a while. I'm gonna get back on there. I canceled a couple of things. Sorry, Kyle, but I pulled a Kyle at her ball and I shut down, because he shut down a lot of his social media because it got too overwhelmed. And so I did kind of the same thing, but now I'm slowly getting back on there.
Yeah. I love my Xbox. I like gaming. I'm a huge gamer, and I have all the PlayStations except for the PlayStation 5. I've got my NES. I've got my PC.
Nintendo. I grew up on Nintendo. I beat all the Super Marios. I beat all those games growing up, and I did play a lot of PlayStation with my brother-in-law. He's the PlayStation guy. I'm the Xbox. Well, he has both.
Yeah.
So we played a lot of Twisted Metal, man. Twisted Metal 2. We used to, from 10 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was unreal.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Just crushed the whole weekend.
My sister and I, that's exactly what we used to do, is just play. Serial Killer wants to know, have you beaten Battletoads? Have you played it?
Yes, I beat all the Battletoads. I don't, but here, I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't know if we beat it without the Game Genie.
The Game Genie. Serial has been playing Battletoads.
Battletoads is stupid, ridiculously hard, and I remember my buddies and I playing it in their basement, like it got to a point where I was putting electrical tape around my thumbs.
Yep. Yes.
for blisters, and I was like, blisters? Oh, electrical tape. Keep going.
Yep, electrical tape or
but
Band-Aids. Those were the
I
days.
did beat Battletoads. I just don't know if I did it fairly or not. I can't remember.
The Game Genie days, yeah. The kids have no idea nowadays about games and how you can't save them. There were
Oh,
no
man.
saves,
I
no
did beat
save
a lot of them
cartridges.
without cheating. I did. Like, some of the games are impossible. Like Ninja Turtles, you can't not
Love
beat the
Ninja
original
Turtles.
Ninja Turtles. Yeah, but you can't beat that without the Game Genie. There's that
It's a
one level. It's
bitch.
just I don't.
Friday the
I don't know.
13th on NES. Oh my God, that game. And
Yeah.
Nightmare on
Oh,
Elm
that
Street.
reminded me of Splatterhouse on. Was
Oh
that
my
a Genesis
goodness.
or what console was Splatterhouse on?
PlayStation. I believe Xbox 360 as well, wasn't it?
No, it started out on something. No, it's something completely different. It started out on either Genesis. I think
Dreamcast?
it was some other.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I didn't own the console. My friends did. My neighbors and the ones that I grew up with, and I remember them having the first console, and then Splatterhouse came with it, and it as a it launched it.
Serial, what console launched it? Because Serial has it.
It wasn't 360. It wasn't any of these big consoles. It was something. It was like a no-name brand. It was either Sega Genesis or it was something else.
Well, going back in the day, we had what? We had Sega Dreamcast. We had Turbo GRFX.
Turbo Graphics, yeah.
Yeah, that's Serial.
Okay, yeah, but Splatterhouse is Splatterhouse still around? That was they were talking about. Someone was talking about. There was a chat. Anyways, making a movie of it, and I was just thinking that would be a ripoff of. Because he's wearing a Voorhees. He's wearing a goalie mask. Splatterhouse is. He's basically dressed like Jason Voorhees, no?
Yeah.
So I don't. If you do a Splatterhouse movie, you're basically. Well, you can't say Friday the 13th because isn't the story of Splatterhouse and a normal dude? He puts on the mask to fight the zombies.
Yeah. He wears a hockey mask. He's not really Jason, but he does look like Jason.
Yeah, well, he does have a shotgun. Jason doesn't use shotguns.
No, he doesn't.
I don't know. I think a lot of Friday the 13th fans would have a problem. I guess that was my point. Would have a problem. Here, you know what? Do you mind if I just kind of jump out of the screen for a minute and close my blinds?
Yeah. Do what you got to do.
I got these lines coming across my face. Top Gun.
Yeah, go for it. Yes. He was going to a costume party, right? Yeah, that's what Serial is saying. Serial asked if his Jason versus Myers question. Oh crap! I didn't see that. I missed that. How far back was it that Serial asked this? I totally missed that question. I'm gonna have to Serial. I'll ask him your question. Him and his girlfriend were going to a costume party when she was kidnapped. A while ago. I'm so bad, Deadwalk. I'm bad.
Oh, I just remembered something.
Oh.
Lucas Paul, my son, the kid that's in the poster, Skinamarink poster, he wanted to come say hi.
Yeah, he is more than welcome to come say hi.
Hey, Lucas. Want to come upstairs and just say hi to everybody for a minute? I know you did, because he sometimes is like, are there any questions for me?
Aww.
That was so funny. When we were flown to Ontario for a Skinamarink screening and meet and greet with fans, when Jordan, my buddy who owned the theater and everything, he was done asking. He was done asking Lucas questions, and then Lucas was like, "Oh, but is that all the questions? Do you have any more questions? Is that all of them?" He didn't want it to be over.
Well, no, that's a whole other form of attention, right? That is new. Yeah. It's exciting, and I mean, for a young child, that's pretty cool. Serial wanted me to ask you, Jason versus Myers. Who do you prefer? Who do you think would win? Who do you like better, Jason or Michael?
Oh, man. Okay. So, Wait, I'm going to get to you on that. I will answer this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a two-part answer. I'm really going to dive into this. For the one part, in a fight, see, you have to think that Michael Myers is a human, Jason Voorhees is a zombie. So Jason Voorhees would win because
I think he would win.
Really, well, unfortunately. So I know some of the Halloweens, they kind of made him like he was indestructible, but at the end of the day, he's a human, right? He's not a zombie, Michael Myers, right?
No, he's supernatural. Michael was human, and then the thorn and
Rob Zombie that made him supernatural? Or no, he was made supernatural before that.
Yeah, you remember Thorn, the cult Thorn? Because that's where it comes into play, where he becomes supernatural and all that jazz.
Oh, Michael Myers, you mean? With the cult,
Myers.
The underground cult and all that stuff? Yeah, I didn't like that one. I thought that was weird.
But that's where he becomes supernatural. So he's technically not human, but is human. And Jason was human. And then he's a revenant zombie. He's one of those that just never die. You can't kill him. They tried to kill him. They've blown him up. They've done everything. He just comes back.
Yeah, so I think Jason would win. As far as who I like more, oh man, I don't know.
Jason.
I can't pick one because before I really love Rob Zombie's take on it because he's just such a big monster, man. He's a big. Oh, hey. You guys like Mikey. They call him Mikey. Come here. I know you can't get it. My setup isn't very good. Okay, just jump up there. My setup's kind of big. He could just Hulk him? Hulk him? Yeah. Okay, come here. Come here. We'll say hi for a minute. Yep, step up here. Yeah, come on. Oh, don't play shy now. You should.
Lucas is like, no, I'm not going on camera.
Let's say hi for a minute. You usually love going on camera. Come on. For a minute. Come on. I got you. Oh, stop. He's being Lucas.
No, he's being a kid.
Just for a minute, buddy. We haven't got much time, so come on.
He's being a kid.
Come on. All right, that's cool. I don't understand you. He wanted to come on earlier, and now
it's a kid thing. It's kids,
That's okay, buddy. All right.
My eldest, 1 minute she wants to be on my camera, be on my stream, be in my live. Next minute, I'm like, come on down here, say hi to everybody. She's like, no. She's 19, so.
Well. Yeah, you know what? If you want to have Lucas on, just Lucas by himself sometime, I guess we can do that.
Well, and then we can use something other than Discord because Discord won't allow you to see my face. So he's probably like, I don't want to talk into some strange lady's voice.
Well, he'll get to meet you. I think after he gets to meet you in person, that'll be awesome too.
Oh, yeah.
He'll connect with you, and that'll be a lot better. So.
Yeah, and he's been to a couple of cons already and like meet and greets, so you gotta love that sun in the eyes.
I'm not complaining, man. After the smoky days, I like bring it on, man.
Yeah. I'm in my murder basement. There's no natural light. There you go.
Just gonna Tom Cruise this shit.
Right? Yeah, I have questions for Lucas later on when either at the con or I can have him on and he can do his own little debut on Coffin Chat. We'll have some cartoon questions.
Yeah, I didn't answer his question who I like better. I just can't pick one, man.
You just can't pick one?
I just can't pick one. It's tough because I think before Rob Zombies. And I just love them both so much because they're so different.
They are very different killers. Michael is a cold, calculated killer. And even though I like to shit upon Michael because I'm a Jason girl all the way, I do give my respect to Michael because he is a scary, or was, if we go back in time, a scary, scary killer. He was cold. He was calculated. Where Jason is a juggernaut of death. He was just came in like a freight fucking train and just murderized everybody. So they
You
are
know what my
different.
favorite Michael Myers scene, one of my, I don't know, I don't know why, but this is one of my favorite scenes where you see Michael Myers lower himself down from the rafters with one hand.
That was
That for
sexy.
some, I was like, fuck
That was
yeah.
sexy. I will have to give that.
Nobody's done that. I mean,
No.
Jason just comes right through the fucking wall or fuck the walls and
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
So he's just
Jason's like the Kool-Aid guy, you know?
That's what I mean. They're and you can't compare. It's hard to compare the two because they're both in their own.
They are. But it's always been Jason or Michael. And Dead Mom, yes, Jason for the win. Dead Mom is saying Jason for the win. I agree.
I feel the pressure, man. I could never pick one, man.
And that's quite all right. You don't have to pick one. I can guarantee.
I did go through a phase where I liked Jason more for a while, but then a new Halloween would come out. The Rob Zombie came out, and that's when I started loving Michael Myers more. And then I think I went back to the rewatching the Friday the 13th, and I was like, shit, man, like these two are so different, and I can't just pick one. So I don't know. Shit, I'm sorry. You're just like, fuck you, Ross. That's a ripoff.
Now they're all good. I mean, I like Michael. Michael is one of my other collectibles. I mean, I collect everything horror, so there isn't much that I don't have. There's a few things I don't have, but Michael is another one that I really enjoy. He's not in my top 3, but he is in my top 10. Even though Serial Killer is his favorite killer. Hey, Havoc.
So who's in your top 3?
My number 1 is Friday the 13th, and then there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the Evil Dead franchise. Those would be my top 3. But if I was to do, I love a lot of horror movies, and I have a ton of favorites. So I'd go by genres and subgenre of horror. I love them all. It's just that I do have my ones that I can always watch, never get tired of. And Halloween is in there because I when I clean my house, I love director's commentaries and director's cuts. So people listen to music, I listen to movies. So I'll throw on Halloween and play the whole movie and then listen to the director's cut while I clean my house. And they'll do the same thing with Friday the 13th and all of them.
Yeah, you learn so much. And you have to categorize them. You have to, man. There's no way you could just have a top 3.
There's no way I can have just my top. I can't. I have my top 500.
It's damn near impossible. You'd have to categorize. I could be my top 3 serial killer, my top 3. I don't know. Yeah, because I'm the same. I love the Evil Dead franchise. I was gonna make a point to what you said. Damn it. Because it was another topic. Buddy and I were talking about the difference between the Evil Deads and that, and how you can't really compare the Ash ones versus the new Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, have you seen Evil Dead Rise?
I went to the theater and saw it. Same.
I went in an advanced screening. I actually enjoyed it. It was nice to see that you didn't have to see the other films to understand what was happening in Evil Dead Rise. It basically put it all together in there for you. You really didn't have to see Evil Dead 1 or 2.
Well, that brings the question, is it a remake or a sequel or what the hell is it?
It's just an added chapter into the chapter. Just like Fede Alvarez's 2013 Evil Dead, it's not a remake. A lot of people say it's a remake, but Fede Alvarez himself, the director of Evil Dead for 2013, even stated it's not a sequel. It's its own set. It's its own page in the book. So you have Evil Dead, you have Evil Dead 2, you have Army of Darkness, Fede Alvarez Evil Dead, and then you have Lee Cronin's Evil Dead Rise. They're all pages in the Evil Dead book. And we know from Army of Darkness as well that there have been more than one Necronomicon. And we find out in Evil Dead 2, we do have the Necronomicon number 2. And then in Evil Dead Rise, we find out we have Necronomicon 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that. Wow. That's why it's funny. I saw an acquaintance of mine online. His review was just like, that's so fucking funny. He's like, it's the same fucking thing. They find the book, they play the record, shit happens. Same.
Well, that's how you have to rise any demon up. I come from a pagan background, and witchcraft and spells, magic, all that hoodoo. Reading anything out loud out of a book is a no-no. And the only way to summon demons or entities is to read the pages out loud. And so it kind of stays with the whole theme of, reading out of the book and having a record play or the recording play, because it's still technically vocally getting it out there, which makes that energy that brings it up.
Yeah, I understand.
I like what he did with it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just clearing my throat. I said I liked what he did with Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah. He's a filmmaker too, and he's just like, oh yeah, you've seen that when you've seen them all. So it was pretty brutal, but I enjoyed it. It was definitely really gory, but it didn't. There's only a few jump scares, but it wasn't as. I wonder if all the people that was like hyping it up so much.
I believe hype ruins a movie. I do. I'm a huge believer in overhype.
It's the scariest thing ever. So this brings me back to what I was saying at the beginning of our podcast, how you have to factor in our age and how many horror movies we've seen, and if they've seen the originals or not. So if you're a younger person, you haven't seen a lot of horror movies, and then you go see Evil Dead Rise without seeing the other ones, and it's gonna be like, oh my god, this is, it was like so fucked and blah blah blah, right? But if for me, who's seen them all and seen a lot, and you know what I mean, it was just like, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of blood, but it didn't really scare me. The acting was awesome. Like Alyssa Sutherland, she followed me on Twitter. That was really cool. Just have to throw that out there.
Hey, why not, right?
Yeah, she was really cool. She was in Vikings, the show Vikings, and I love that show. That was crazy.
And she did an amazing job. But talking on the subject of, watching something for, compared from when we were younger to nowadays, I think one of the only films that really does that for people is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When I first seen TCM, it scared the ever-living shit out of me. Like I grew up on, we would go out to the remote areas. When I showed that to my spawn for the first time, she's seen slashers, she's seen Jason, she's seen Freddy, she's seen Hostel, she's seen these things. But when she saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it hit differently than any other horror movies. And I'm going to have to say, everybody that I have ever spoken to about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it always hits them differently.
Do you know why? Like, do you have an idea, an opinion? I don't know.
I think it's because TCM can be more realistic if you think about it. For me, when I was a kid, I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My grandparents would take us to this remote place in upstate New York, and it was dirt roads. Your closest neighbor was like blocks and blocks away. You can just think about, going into a town or a desolate town, a ghost town, and having some kind of cannibalism is a real thing, and it's been a thing throughout history. I love cannibals, but it's the whole could something like this actually happen? Could it happen? Yes, we do. We know it's happened. Ed Gein loved to use his women to make lampshade nipples and shit like that. So, I mean, can it happen? Oh, God, Ed Gein is one of the biggest reasons why we have a lot of the horror. Not the main reason why TCM was made. That is not the truth, but...
That was a very bad and inappropriate joke. I don't know if anybody caught that.
But that's where I think, there's very few movies that can hit people differently than other horror movies do, and I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of those films. When people see The Exorcist, when the newer generation see The Exorcist, they're like, oh yeah, whatever. But in 1973, when that bitch came out, People were up in arms. It was scary. People were passing out. They literally had priests bless movie theaters. Like, it was a different era, a different time, and nobody was used to seeing anything like that in the mainstream movies. There was nothing like The Exorcist. So when the youngins see it now, they're just like, psh, whatever. Well, she spun her head around. Big deal.
It's very hard to, so I guess that's me too, as like The Evil Dead Rise, the hype kind of ruined it for me in a sense, but it just goes back to the whole point of, because I've seen them all, right? And I've seen it before. But I mean, I'm not shitting on it. I'm not saying it sucked, because it didn't suck. It was a good movie.
Oh, it was great,
Yeah, the acting was great. Everything was good about it. I just felt like I've seen it before. That's really it. But other than that, I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It got probably going to get an award for the best intro, or if it did already, I don't know. I was talking, you know what I mean? Like how she comes up out of the best title screen. That was very cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood, man. It was pretty ridiculous.
But
good. Like, there's nothing really stupid in it. Like I was talking about, that reminds me of Megan. I jumped on my Instagram stories last night, and man, there's so many people jumping on that last night. I didn't expect that. A lot of Megan fans too. I don't know if you could put, I guess she's horror.
Megan?
Yeah.
Yeah, doll horror. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Sorry, I know we're all over the place again as usual, but
we're fine.
I'm ADD, but
we're fine. I live on random. I live in chaos.
Jumping over to Megan now. My final thoughts are that I did enjoy it. It was decent, but there's almost every horror movie has something stupid in it. So the two stupid things in this one was the whole, as I said on my Instagram, the pressure washer spraying the lady and her flying across the garage. Not gonna happen. Fire hose, yes. Pressure washer, no. You're not gonna send someone flying with a pressure washer.
Horror movie logic.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Super soaker. And another thing was when she, spoiler alert, got ripped in half, which was awesome. And then her top half flips Gemma over. That's not possible. And now that I think of it, that's been done in a lot of horror movies. Or even when Chucky flipped someone over, I'm just like, or when the doll, this little thing, is able to spin someone around in midair, and I'm like, what is this? What is he attached to? Those are the only two things. Other than that, the movie, I don't know, it wasn't as the hype as it being so fucking gory and scary. I was like, go watch Terrifier or Evil Dead Rise or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, it's horror movie logic when it comes to a lot of these things, right?
Yeah, so that's how I do have a checklist when I watch a movie. Like, was the acting good? Was the story good? Was I able to connect with the characters? Did I have an emotional reaction or an experience? And, I do check off boxes when I watch a movie, so I don't just go in there and be like, oh yeah, it sucked.
I usually, when I go in, my first viewing is just me to enjoy the film. And then if it interests me enough, I will watch it a second, a third, and a fourth. Like the new TCM, Netflix's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've seen that bitch like 6 times.
Man, yes, that is how you know it's a good movie when it's worth a rewatch. So the Texas Chainsaw, I did it backwards. I was a bit of a wuss, and I didn't dare to watch them for some, I guess, because I don't know. Anyways, I didn't see a Texas Chainsaw movie until the one with what's her name?
2003.
Fairly hot. Didn't she marry Justin Timberlake? Jessica Biel.
Yeah, 2003 TCM.
She looks so fucking hot in that movie.
Was it 2003? I think it was 2003.
So I saw that in the theater, and that was, holy shit, man. That really had me on the edge of my seat.
Great
and
remake.
That's what got me into Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was the movie that got me into that TCM. And then I started watching the other ones, and I still haven't seen the 1970 one, like the first ones yet. I'm gonna watch it.
You haven't seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No, I did it all backwards.
Oh, you definitely need to see it. Okay, so the original TCM is nothing compared to the sequels and the other parts of the chapter. What Toby Hooper did in this movie, nobody can replicate, and I haven't seen replicated in any film after that. And I
saw a lot of shaky camera work and stuff like that. Like, it was very, like, almost like, I think they were trying to make it like you were there.
Well, the way Toby did it is that he wanted a specific thing when making this film, and he wanted to make you uneasy. He wanted your own brain to create what was happening in the film. So for a lot of it, this film is not bloody, nor is it gory. A lot of people think it's gory because their brain has told them what they heard is what they've seen, and it really isn't. Toby did end up getting an R rating just because of the board, those people that are stuck up on that board that give R ratings. However, it did come down to a PG-13 rating in some countries. But there's a lot that you don't see in that film that your brain shows you. Your brain creates these images, but you're not really seeing those images.
It's kind of the same deal as Skinamarink.
Yeah.
No, like that's what Skinamarink is. It's leaving you to your imagination. What's in the hallway? What's in that dark space? Is there someone there or not? And you don't know. And so that's the whole experience thing. So now I'm really looking forward to
definitely watch it. It's
I got a lot of homework to do.
It's definitely different than the rest of the chapters in the franchise. It's only really it's number one, and then the rest you actually see more blood and gore in the other chapters compared to TCM1.
Everything has to be bigger and more gorier now.
I'm a gore whore. That's my favorite. I love shocking, disturbing genre, the subgenre in horror. And the more blood, guts, and ass, the better. What was that?
Pardon? Oh, what'd you say? The more what?
The more blood, guts, and ass, the better.
An ass, yeah. Yeah, I'm a dude, so I'm like blood, gore, tits, and ass. Perfect.
Exactly. You got to have them in there. I mean...
Well, now it's just part of the blueprint.
Well, I noticed more and more movies, horror movies, getting away from nudity.
Yeah, they have.
And it sucks. Yeah. As a woman, I have no issue seeing some big titty chick running away from a masked killer.
I expect you to say the opposite, because there's a lot of women that are complaining about that, and that's probably why, because they're just like, why did they have to I have read articles. Yeah, I read a lot of women complaining about that, saying, why do they have to show this? Why? Well,
I will only complain because I think this should be, I can't even say it with a straight face. There needs to be equal opportunity nudity. If you're going to see a chick's tits or ass, there should be some dong up in there as well.
I want some penis, damn it. Wait a minute.
But I just have to think it has to be.
I don't actually want penis.
Equal. Have you seen, you probably haven't, have you seen Cherokee Creek? Has anybody in here besides a few of the Horde members have seen Cherokee Creek? It's an indie horror comedy, raunchy 80 horror comedy made in the 2000s.
I've heard of that.
Todd Jenkins, who's an awesome actor and director, also owns Mafia Productions. He acted and created Cherokee Creek, and it's one of the only films that I know has equal opportunity nudity, and that's why I was saying that. And Monkey is like, yeah, we gotta have gay man's rights. We need to see a little dick because we gotta see titties.
That's fair. That's fair.
It is fair. And everyone's like, yes, boobs for the dong, dead mom says. Devil Dog's seen it 3 times. Hi, Sailor, how are you? If I can recommend a raunchy 80s style guy humor film, and I say guy humor, and if you've ever seen it, you'll know what I mean when I say guy humor, Cherokee Creek. It's indie film. It practical effects galore, low budget. It never got a. It's too raunchy to get a theatrical release. Way too raunchy.
What do you mean, like raunchy, as in like
just
lots?
There is dong, there is tits, there is.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like, raunchy still means what it means.
Yeah.
The meaning of term slang changes over time a little bit. So.
It does, but when I say raunchy, I mean raunchy. Like, it's just.
Yeah, really wrong. Okay, perfect.
No children. No children. I haven't even watched this movie with my elder spawn, so.
I used to not like a lot of raunchy, but then I was like, now I've come to respect it and enjoy it now. I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it is more realistic. I mean, if you are going to kill someone in a shower scene or
they're going to be naked
banging or whatever. Yeah, like, and there's a lot of things. I'm like, from a filmmaker standpoint, man, I don't know. It's very debatable. It's an ongoing debate. Some people believe, you can do it. You don't need to see it. I don't know.
Well, you don't need to have. You don't need to have nudity in a horror film. I don't mind it. I'm not against it to not having it in a horror film. Like, I mean, Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 had no nudity scenes in it, and it was gory as fuck. It was better than the first one, in my opinion. And the first one did have some nudity in it, especially when he saws her in half.
I saw that, man. I was drunk that night. We started watching, but we didn't finish it because I think we just got so fucking wasted. We ended up going to a bar. But I am going to watch Terrifier 1 again and get through it. Again, I don't mean to sound like a wuss, but I just always had a problem with too much gore. Like, I don't know, but I think I'm getting better at it, and so. Not
everybody likes that kind of stuff.
I want to
right?
ask you and this is a whole other topic as well. Horror movies, 2 different. On one hand, there are horror movies that are done really well and the acting is well and all that stuff, but then you have your horror movies that are maybe purposely done bad. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, the acting is not that great. Things aren't. It's kind of ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's funny.
Yeah.
And then you have the ones in between. So I'm just curious, where is Terrifier? Like, is it? I think from what I saw from the first one, it seemed pretty decent. Like, from what I saw of it.
I categorize Terrifier as a serious horror. And when I mean serious horror, I mean there's a lot of blood and kills. Like Friday the 13th, it for me is a serious horror. Same thing with, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When I say not so serious horror, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's got that comedic aspect and relief in it, where most serious horror has no comedic relief in it whatsoever. Even dark humor. That's where Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 comes in with its really dark humor.
So where do you put Friday the 13th?
I put it in a serious horror. There's no comedy. There's no. I don't know.
I mean, he has his little comedy where he makes his little one-offs, like.
You mean Nightmare on Elm Street? Not Jason Voorhees. Jason doesn't speak. Well, he grunts in a few of them.
No, I did Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh. Sorry, Freddy has his little one-off, his one-liners.
Oh yeah, Freddy's like, more.
He's like, bitch, like he's always the same sort.
More of a comedy.
He's a superhero in the one, and he's like more powerful than a psycho or faster than a local madman, and then he's just.
Yeah, that's what makes Freddy so unique and different from all the other killers, is that Freddy is, he's a serious horror, but he's a comedy horror. So he's not comedy horror like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, right? Like that's a whole level. Yeah. Shaun of the Dead. That's an actual horror comedy.
Shaun of the Dead. I love Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is great. Freddy stands out amongst the slashers because he is, he speaks, where Bubba barely speaks. Bubba does some words, but nothing crazy. Jason doesn't speak. He makes a couple of grunts and whatnot. Michael Myers doesn't speak.
Who's Bubba again?
Leatherface.
Oh,
Texas
I never heard
Chainsaw
him called
Massacre.
Bubba before.
Well, so okay, in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 is we don't really, I mean, we know that he is Leatherface, and in 2 it's where Chop Top actually calls Leatherface Bubba. It's known throughout the franchise, like he's known, and if you haven't seen the previous chapters of TCM, you're not going to know that.
Did see one that I had a problem with. It was, and there's so many. I didn't realize there was that many TCM movies until I went looking for it, because it was one where it was a young Leatherface, but he was such a small kid, and they had you thinking throughout the movie that the big fat kid was
that's Leatherface. That's Leatherface. It's called Leatherface, and I believe it was released in 2017. It's the.
So I watched it, and I'm like, the whole time I was thinking, yeah, because Leatherface is a big dude. And so I was thinking that big fat kid was Leatherface right up until the end. It was a skinny dude right at the end that ended up sorry, spoiler alert, but chopping his own girlfriend's head off and becoming Leatherface. And I just was like, I just had I don't know.
I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it.
Yeah, fuck it. I didn't like it either.
I didn't like it because they changed the entire lore, the entire backstory. They changed everything about Leatherface and named it Leatherface.
Yeah, because so in that story, he's just an average dude, but has a well, not average. He had his issues, but he has a psychotic break. And you see the point where he has a psychotic break, where he's having the break. But that's different from Leatherface. Like, Leatherface was raised in a, he
was raised in a family in if you watch the first one, how he was raised, he was abused. And he has mental health issues.
Yeah, I get it. So yeah, they kind of ruined it.
You need to see the first one and then watch your second Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The first one will make more sense to you as you go through the franchise chapters. Deadwalk, have a great night. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
You'll see.
I know close my blinds a little better. Sorry.
No, I know we're getting past time because I can get sidetracked. It's 9:00 already.
Holy shit, talking about streaming Batman.
Yeah.
I knew it was getting late. I had a feeling we were all over the map, and it's been a good chat. I was worried about our chat. If we're gonna have anything that, if it's gonna be awkward or whatever. But
chats with me are never awkward because I talk a hell of a lot.
That's awesome. This has been a really good chat.
There's never any dead air, and I jump all over the place, and I get sidetracked. My moderators will always tell me, Ross, stay on track, because I have a horrible habit. I'll talk about one thing, and then we'll talk about 5 other things during that talk of that one thing, like we just did this evening.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
Yeah.
We unpacked a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for the people chiming in, like I say chiming in, but...
they were talking away. The Horde here. We had Monkey, Deadwalk, Havoc, JJ Movies, Dead Mom, Ake, Devil Dog, just everybody just chatting in, and I was reading their comments.
I want to say an official hi to everybody, and thank you for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it, and you guys are awesome. I hope to meet you all in person one day, maybe at a horror convention. I hope we do more. Are we allowed to mention that?
You're allowed to mention whatever you want. There is nothing ever off taboo here except for politics, because I get enough of that in my real life.
Good. Yeah, same. So we were in talks of maybe you possibly representing Lucas and I, maybe?
Yes. I know I'm supposed to see Dan in June, and I think we're all going to talk in June about the whole thing, and I know he's so busy.
Lucas and I, truth be told, technically already have an appearance manager.
Yes, you told me about that.
But I don't want to dump on him. Tony is a great guy. I still talk to him. He's a good. I think he's a good dude. Yeah, and you know what I mean. It's hard to tell because you get some people in the industry that could be snakes, that could be
Oh,
whatever. But
100%.
I think I can usually get a good feel for people. I think Tony Rodriguez is his name. He's part of Midnight Media Entertainment. He reps one of the Candyman, Michael Hargrove, plays Handyman, and he does rep one of the Leatherface guys.
He probably reps Mark.
I think Mark, yeah, and so he does have a couple people on his roster, and he does conventions in the U.S. And he did sign Lucas and I when Skinamarink first blew up, but I don't know. It's been weird.
We had a convo about that. We had a convo about that when we were talking on the phone a couple of weeks back. You told me all about it.
Well, he said it was as big as Skinamarink is, or is in some areas. There's still some areas that he just couldn't get us on because there's a lot of areas where Stranger Things and all the other monsters, the really big ones, are just fill up. So I don't know. I think it's just a matter of finding us the right place, because I have been networking with people in Florida who said they know people at the Comic Cons down there, and they do want us down there. And Niagara Falls, if we can get into the one in October, Frightmare, I was told that we're wanted. Skinamarink crew was wanted there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Nothing against Tony, but anyways, we haven't got anything to worry about. I know we're safe.
Yep.
We're good to do, I guess, sign with you, because I think there was something in the contract that said that, basically if nothing happens within a period of time, you're pretty much good.
Yeah, that's usually the loopholes. Yep.
Yeah, and Tony reached out and said, I'm sorry, he did pitch us, and he just said, it's just been a crazy year, and he said, I don't want to hinder your career, you do whatever you got to do, and maybe we'll just reconnect some other time. So, but Dan's talked to me a lot about that, and I've learned a lot from Dan.
Dan's
Doherty,
amazing.
For those of you that don't know, Dan Doherty is the CEO, I believe, of Calgary.
He is the creator of the Calgary Horror Con. This little thing did not exist. It started out as Dan's a horror fan. Dan loves horror. Yeah. We needed a horror con. Dan, in all of his godliness, created, and now it's like the biggest, the best horror con in Canada. That's my opinion.
That's awesome. I'm so pumped. I was so pumped when he reached out to me. He's like, so I hear you're coming to Calgary Horror Convention. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess so. Let's do it.
Yeah, he's great. And he works a full-time job and has kids and does the horror con on top of it.
I know. I have Rylan and Lucas 5 days a week anyway, so
yeah.
I get it. I'm juggling a job and all this too, but he seems a little bit busier than me even. He's I don't know how he does it.
Oh, wait till you see the HorrorCon, and then it's going to blow your mind that this is what he does as a hobby.
He said it's his dream job, though.
It is his, yeah, it definitely is.
And I think this is going to this is another door for us.
It is definitely going to open up another door. 110%.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the start of something awesome.
I think so.
Because I feel, I don't know a lot about it, but I think and feel that we just needed our first horror convention, and I think once we get into one, then it'll lead to two, then it'll lead to three, and then it'll just snowball. I don't want to say,
yeah.
Like, I think it'll, and in the meantime, I'm hoping to get my next horror movie. It's so hard to find that next project being here. I am open to relocating if that happens. I've been invited to move to Florida. I've been invited to come down to Vancouver, and I've been invited to go to LA, but I just can't pack up my kids and leave like that. There has to be an opportunity attached.
Yep.
I need money for that.
Exactly. So, we all need money to live and to try to do our dreams, right?
Yeah, but I believe all that's coming. I guess where I was going with that is that, where was I going with that? Kyle Edward Ball is writing another horror movie soon, and I I did ask him. I didn't want to bug him, but I mean, I had to know. I'd be like, so, I was like, just curious how you're gonna, how did I say that? How you're going to do the whole casting thing for your next movie.
Yeah.
Being all clever about it. And he already knew right away. He's like, and he just said, if there's a part for you, I'll cast you in a heartbeat, is what he said.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I know he just got his new apartment. I keep up with him on Twitter.
Yeah, I offered to help him move. I told him I have a truck now, my first truck ever. I love my truck. It's a nice Chevy Silverado Z71. It's
nice,
mint. Yeah, man. Yeah. Anyways, that was. But yeah, I offered to help him move, and yeah, he's got a lot going on too. But
where did he move? He's
not actually. He said he just. I don't really know, to be honest. He's still in Edmonton.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought he was still in Alberta.
Yeah, and then I don't know if he hinted about Vancouver or not. I know we'll talk again, obviously, at the horror convention.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk to him through the chat.
Oh, definitely.
Sometimes. But him and I have had conversations. Like, we still touch base from time to time, but I'm so happy for Kyle. He's in a place now where Hollywood has their eyes on him. Like, they're all wanting to know what he's going to do next.
Yep. Look at Damien Leon. Damien Leon, another independent director, creator. He did, Art the Clown was not born in Terrifier. Art the Clown was born in horror short films, Hallows Eve, before Terrifier. Oh yeah, I was a fan of Art the Clown before Art the Clown became huge as an iconic villain. And
I gotta admit, and I'm sorry, I didn't know much about Art the Clown. I'm just totally getting into Terrifier now. So that's why I gotta watch it. And I made a meme out of one of his. I took a screenshot of one scene. I made a meme out of it one time when I was drinking. I think it was where he's on the table and he's like.
That's Terrifier 1.
I think what the caption was, when you're single as fuck.
When you're single as fuck. And Art doesn't speak at all either in his films.
I didn't think so.
No,
okay.
he's got several horror short films, and then you also have Hallows Eve, which has two films in it. They're not long films, but you can find them on Tubi, and I believe they are on Shudder, but I know you can find them on Tubi. But Damien Leon, when he did Terrifier was again another independent production, and it wasn't as huge as Terrifier 2. When Damien was like, "Hey, yeah, we're doing a Terrifier 2," like the whole horror world just blew the fuck up for him, because it was like, "Oh my God, he's coming out with a 2," and then everybody got on the Terrifier train.
Yeah, Skinamarink and was it Terrifier or Terrifier 2 and Skinamarink played in the same theater one weekend. There's a picture of Kyle Edward.
That would be 2.
The executive producer. They're standing beside the 2 posters. It's Skinamarink and Terrifier 2 at the same time. That was pretty epic.
And now look at Damien Leon. He's got people like Sam Raimi looking at him. He's got big production companies looking at him because of Terrifier 2. Terrifier 1 did put him on the map, but I honestly think Terrifier 2 and the way it blew up and how it just took over the horror industry when it came out, put him fully on the map. And that same thing can happen with Kyle.
Yeah, well, plus they just won a slew of Chainsaw Awards.
Yes, they did, for Terrifier 2.
Now I saw that because I don't have time to watch much these days. And I'm sorry, guys.
I get it.
There's so many people wanting me to watch their podcasts and stuff. I don't really, I can find some time, but it's like I can't even find time to watch the movies that I want to watch.
Oh yeah, I definitely get that.
You know what I mean? Like, I do want to watch their podcast, but I mean, like, us talking about me watching Texas Chainsaw. Well, like, I just got a long list of things I need to try to get to do, but sorry, before I skip to the next thing, and then we got to wrap this up.
Yep.
So Skinamarink and Terrifier. Terrifier is definitely leaps and bounds. Like, it's definitely on put him on the map.
Yes.
I was hoping Skinamarink would have did that for us in a way, but I get that they're two completely different animals. I kind of wish, I was hoping Kyle would write a sequel, but
you never know. He may say no now, but you just never know what happens in the future.
Yeah, I know. This is just, I know I got a little personal there, but I'm just, because I'm in a weird place right now, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm just in a very weird place. Like, and Lucas and I are becoming more famous.
Yep.
But I feel like I'm in the wrong area, but I haven't had a lot of people reach out to me yet. Not like big roles come my way or anything. But I may just have to work for it and prove myself because I haven't done much yet. So I'm in a weird place is what I mean. Like,
you're in
have
a starting point.
A lot of eyes on me. Pardon?
You're in a starting point.
Yeah, so it's very critical what I do, my decisions. I need to make a lot of the right decisions from here on out. Like, I really can't, I know I can't afford to make too many wrong decisions. So I'm very grateful.
Sometimes you got to take those big risks because those risks give you big rewards, right? Holding yourself back from, you're afraid of the whatnots and the should-haves and the would-haves. But if you don't do those, that could be closing a door, right? That could be closing a potential door that can bring you into a whole new world. Right?
This is true. This is so true. So I'm definitely open. Like, I'm definitely going to not allow, like, I'm not afraid. I'm gonna do whatever I can do, which brings me to my last thing. I just wrapped up filming some scenes for a collaboration with Bootleg 317.
Nice.
It's the Ali and Jay show. He has a pretty big following on YouTube. I think he has around 3,000 or more followers. It's called Ali and Jay. He does a lot of animated stuff, and so we've been working on a Skinamarink riff.
Nice.
So I don't know how much I was supposed to say, because I'm confused, because in 1 minute he's like, oh, I wanted it to be a surprise, but then he went and he posted a picture of Lucas holding the thing, like, saying skin riff. So I'm like, well, you wanted it to be a surprise, but then you just kind of gave it away too, so I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to throw out cryptic messages.
And I just fucked it all up. So Lucas and I may or may not be appearing in the Ali and Jay show.
Usually they'll tell you not to say anything if they're creating something they don't want people to know about.
But I mean, at the same time, he did post the pictures.
Exactly.
And kind of gave it away.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Fuck it, whatever.
Exactly.
It's in the. I filmed all my scenes. That's wrapped up. So I think he's just waiting for the other actors to finish their scenes, and then I don't know when it's going to be released. Hopefully, he wanted to have it released before the end of June.
Oh, very cool.
So, yeah. I'll keep everybody. I'll throw that out there.
Yeah,
soon.
Throw it out there. Keep us posted. Let us know. And it is. It's getting to be that time. Way past the normal hour that we usually do here. But the conversation is good, and you can't just kill a conversation if it's good.
Fair enough.
It's not fair.
Yeah, that's true. Even though I couldn't really see you, it was still pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know. Next time we'll use Zoom or something. Next time we'll just use another platform, because it won't. Discord won't allow. Well, I shouldn't say that. My XSplit is where all my broadcasting goes into. So Discord can't differentiate the XSplit camera and my Brio for Discord. So next time.
Yeah, I normally use Zoom, and then we'll have a chat about. I'll have a completely different setup next time as well.
Yeah, and I'll see you in June anyway, so we can have an actual sit down sesh and chat. And I have all my gear, my recording stuff, and everything. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a good time. It'll be a great time. It'll be a lot of fun and a new experience. Definitely.
Man, I'm not going to be able to sleep much.
I don't sleep at all that weekend.
Nice.
I don't sleep at all. But thank you so very much for coming on the Coffin Chat with me, Ross. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking 2 hours out of your busy day and evening to come and hang out with me in the Horde. I appreciate it.
I do too. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Oh, pleasure's mine.
Thank you guys watching at home. Seriously, y'all came out to say hi and chit chat and discuss horror and Skinamarink with Ross and I appreciate it. So thank you guys being here on Kick and on YouTube for coming out and being so amazing, guys. Thank you so very much for being here. I will see you guys Thursday night. We're going to be checking out some Texas Chainsaw Massacre Thursday evening, and then I'll see you on Twitch Friday afternoon. Have an amazing evening, guys. Thank you so very much for being here and hanging out. I love your guys' guts, and I will slash us all later. Bye.